the big push for this week is the premium content blocks. It's about 27 new blocks. And I think, David, you've put together a small kind of presentation of kind of what you can do, types of pages you can create with this.
That's right. With a regular standalone web page builder, it is pretty flexible. It's very simple. It's familiar. It works just like Microsoft Word does. But when we introduced the basic content blocks, that really opened up a lot of flexibility to compiling really nice, modern, beautiful looking web pages. But it did still take a little bit of creativity and imagination to mold those default simple blocks into some more complex ones. And so with this premium web page content blocks add-on, we've added a lot more and some more complex ones. So you can either use them as they are, or you can further customize them. And so it offers even that much more flexibility because you do have such a wider variety of foundations to start from. So we went ahead, we found 3 web pages online that were modern looking, unique. And so the 3 of these pages are the About Us page, a team page, and a page listing off a company's services or features that are included in their product. So with the About page, the content that is consisting of that page is a hero section, some left and right aligned images and text that are alternating, some call to action buttons, as well as a CTA at the bottom of that page.
And I'll pull up that page, David. So this is not a BD website. This was like the website you found online, and we wanted to see if we could emulate a similar layout for a page like this, right?
That's right. And so as we're going through this page and the following 2 pages, this one was made primarily with the default blocks. I think the only one of the new premium batch that we used was that call to action at the bottom of the page. So you can see here on the page that we made on a BD site, it looks almost identical to it. So you can really see the flexibility that you have just with the standalone default content blocks. But going into the other 2, you'll see they're a little bit more complex and they utilize a lot more of those premium blocks.
Let's take a look at this in the admin. So this is a BD site here, and this was the main website. And yeah, it does look nice and clean. All right, let's head on over to the web page builder. And this was the our core beliefs. So let's just take a look at what this looks like in the editor. Okay, great. And what's cool here, guys, if you ever need a bit more space in your admin area, this menu actually slides closed by clicking on this kind of hamburger here. So you can kind of get a bit more space if you might be on a smaller monitor there. So Dave, you utilize the hero section here, right, as well?
Correct.
The title.
Yeah, which displays the H1 and the H2 of the page, the title and subtitle.
Okay, pretty cool. Let's go to, I guess, the next example.
Yeah, so the second page, a team page, this one consists again of a hero section, but also a list of team members, some core values, an embedded video called a handshake video, kind of like basically an About Us video version. And then the page finishes with a CTA to get started with the company. So we recreated that on this BD site as well.
All right, so this is the not BD site. This is just a page you found online, and this is how they had their Teams page set up, right?
Correct. So they start with that heroes, what we'll call a hero section.
Right.
Their list of team members here, which is a pretty simple layout, a list of core values. They have that embedded video along with a message next to it. And below that video, those little triangles, that's just an image that they have. Below that is kind of like an expanded version of their core values, just some additional information. And then the page finalizes with a call to action. So finishing the pages with a call to action is a pretty common theme.
And this is what we've created.
That's right. So again, we utilized the hero section, which is just part of the web page builder. It's not part of the content blocks. And then we recreated that layout that they have with their team members. We only did 6. I think they had 8 team members. So simplified it a little bit. And then again, we kind of recreated their core values section along with the handshake video and with the text to the left of it and that little image that they had below. And then the kind of expanded version of their core values here. And finally, culminating with that call to action again.
Nice. Let's take a look at this one in the Web Page Builder. And this one search engine marketers, David?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
And so here, one of the new premium content blocks, there's several for Teams page. And so it was that first one with the 3 columns, the 3 faces, and we basically just duplicated it. So we dragged it in twice, and we added a background color to each cell, and we replaced the images. We moved the text above the image, messed with the colors a little bit and the font size, and that was really it. So this content block worked as a great starting point for this.
Awesome.
And then going down here, this area started with a left aligned image and a right aligned text. Dragged that in and basically replaced the image with text and made it really big to say core values. And the text on the right, we just added in, it's just some normal text. And the way we got that check mark is we clicked on the star icon in the toolbar to pick an icon. And then these icons are all basically text characters. So you can change the color of these as well. So we made them into that kind of goldish brown color and then added some bold text beside that. The next section, this one again started with a right aligned image and some left aligned text. Again, messed with some of the font sizes, the colors. We dragged an image, replaced the stock image for those triangles that they had on their website. And then right above that, we embedded a video. So we grabbed their video, and one of the default content blocks is a video. So you can drag that right in wherever you want to embed a video, and then you can drag the corner of that video to resize it as well. So again, a lot of flexibility in this particular section, utilized one of the premium content blocks with one of the default blocks.
And when you drag this video, I'll just drag it in here as an example. Yeah, you can enlarge it. Well, that wasn't a good spot to drop it. Let me go down here. So let's drop it down here. Yeah, what you did is you stretched it, David, you're saying?
That's right.
And then you can click on this replace button here, and you can put the YouTube URL of another video. So it'll replace this kind of default one that you dragged in here. So if you have your own, you can do that, or you can use embed code. So if you're using Wistia or Vimeo or another tool that provides video embed code, you can drop in the embed code here just to replace the default video that's here when you drag in this element.
And that works the same with the images as well. You can click on one of the default images from the content block that you dragged over, and then you can just replace that default image. You can either upload a new one, or if you're using an image that's already on another website, you can just copy and paste the URL of that image as well. So a lot of different options, a lot of flexibility. And with this next section, this one, we could have just created a 2-column table ourselves using the basic features in this WYSIWYG editor, the text editor here. But what we ended up doing was we used a left aligned image and a right aligned text content block, dragged that over, got rid of the image and just replaced that with the we believe text. And what's great about these content blocks is because they do utilize tables, you can just drag the columns within the tables to make one wider or one more narrow. So we made the we believe column more narrow, and the column on the right with a lot of text much wider, just like they had on their website. And then we just pasted in the text, again, messed with the font size and the colors. And then right below that, we dragged in one of the call to action content blocks. And I believe all of our call to action content blocks use button links. So all we did was we replaced the button link with just a normal link. So you don't have it looking like a button. Because on their website, they just have a normal text link like you see here. So a lot of what goes into really making these web pages look more modern, look unique, is utilizing these background colors for some of the cells if you want to make certain sections stand out more. And then also messing with the text size and the font families that you're using, as well as adding some colors. So like if maybe one of your primary colors of your website is blue, maybe for some of these headings on your web pages, you want to make them blue instead of just leaving them black. It might help tie everything together and make everything look a little bit more modern.
Very nice. All right, and the last one here was a list of services or features. This might be benefits of joining your community, what people can stand to get from becoming a member or participating. So what kind of elements did we have on this kind of page, David?
Yeah, so here we start with an introductory CTA. This page doesn't have a hero section. Below that call to action is one large primary image. Then we include some brand icons, then a left and right aligned image with text. Again, this is alternating down the web page, but we have a little bit of a variation with this. Instead of just being standard text, we also include a couple bullets with each section. Then we have a couple internal links linking to some additional pages on our website. Below that, we have a testimonial. And then again, finalizing the page, we have a getting started call to action. So like Jason said, this is based off of a page on Upflow, which is a software, but you can utilize the same layout to list the benefits that your membership directory is offering, or if you want to give people kind of a walkthrough of what they can expect in their member dashboard, you could do that as well.
All right, so this is again not the BD site. This was Upflow's custom website and a landing page they have. So let's scroll down this page together. So they have a nice big image kind of showing what the platform looks like, an image of the, I guess, brands that use this service, Upflow. And then here we have some text with some icon images. These are icon images, and then a larger image on the right. A lot of landing pages are just text left, image right, and just making sure that it's easy and clear to read. Same thing here, just opposite, more opposites, centered item. This is a cool effect they have. And here is a testimonial, as David mentioned. And lastly, a call to action here to request a demo. So let's take a look at the page we created here. Let's scroll up to the top. So this is the BD landing page now. So we have here like a centered call to action to request a demo, a large screenshot image of the service, of what the platform looks like. And we have a list of the brands. This is an image. Each one is an image of the brands utilizing the platform. And then here, David, you've put text left with the icons with an image right, and that's going to switch as we scroll down the page. More icons, text, more icons, and we can scroll down. Here are two options to funnel down to. And if we scroll down, here is the testimonial and then a call to action with the two buttons here. So I'm actually interested to see how you created this page, David. It seems like it's utilizing some of the more robust blocks. Let's go back here.
Yeah, so this page, I would argue, looks the most complex, but it was actually the simplest and fastest one to make. All of these were pretty quick to make, but this one was definitely the quickest because we already had some of those premium blocks already in place. So this first one, I believe, was just a call to action block.
This one right here.
Yeah, exactly. So drag that in, edit the title, the text, the button link. Below that is just a standard image. So we just used the basic image content block, drag that in, replaced the default image in there. And then again, you drag the corner and you can expand it to make it take up the full width of the page or however big you want it to be. And below that, this one did take a little bit of tweaking. What we did for this is right on the one that Jason's hovering on, the second feature content block. We dragged that over. Now this one only has 4 columns. I believe the number of brand icons that they had was 6 or 7. So what you can do is, again, because these are just tables, you can click inside of the table and you can add a column to the end of it. So we inserted a couple columns, and then we deleted the second row because we only need one row of icons. And so what we did after that, because there's no text in this, only images of the brand logos, is we just got rid of all the text in there and then replaced the default images with the brand logos.
Gotcha.
So again, this one took a little bit of tweaking, but it's all very simple and pretty quick.
Nice. And then if you're seeing that things aren't lining up, sometimes you can do the vertical align middle on all these, something like this. Or there might be an extra space in there. That's not being a little finicky. There we go. So then after that, you clicked here and you clicked on replace, and you had the logo images ready, right, David?
Exactly. So you can just drag and drop it from your computer right into this little pop-up here.
Okay, great. And let's scroll down here.
And so the layout of this is a little different from what Uplift has on their page. They had the two bullets, I believe, right next to each other. Because we don't have that as an option for our premium content blocks, we have one very similar in this exact layout. So this works just as well. So we just dragged this over. Exactly, it was that content block. We replaced that tall iPhone image with the square screenshot that Uplift has on their page. We replaced the text, and we replaced those smaller icon images as well. Again, what Uplift has on their site, it looks pretty different, or at least a little different from the default content block. But what makes up a lot of that difference is just the text sizing and the colors. So I think one of the big takeaways here is realizing how much more modern you can make web pages look just by playing with the font sizing and the colors and making sure you have really high quality images and icons to go along with all of that.
And then of course you just chose the opposite one as you scroll down.
Exactly.
And one more time here, it does look nice. It looks nice when you can find icons. There's a lot of sites where you can find stock images for icons. And then this one here, David, two options.
Yeah, so this one, we don't have a content block that looks exactly like this, but you can see this is a table with 5 columns. So you could either take this content block that Jason's showing right now and drag that over. Yeah, that's the content block that we used. But what we did was we played with the widths of these columns because we don't have as much content. We don't have as much text for this section. We wanted those 2 buttons or those 2 links closer together. So we played with the width of the columns and we shortened up the text, and we replaced the images in there with the circular images that Uplift had on their page. And again, for the heading, our default heading for this section, it's all just one font family. Uplift had a bigger, bolder heading and then a smaller, narrower subheading. So we added that in there as well. And again, that's just playing with the font size and the colors and bolding and unbolding.
Right, and so we could just make this smaller here. Let's make it 20, and it would do something like that.
Exactly.
Okay, very good.
And
the testimonial.
The testimonial, I really like how this turned out. We don't have a testimonial content block. I suppose maybe that would be one that we could add in the future. But what we did with this one, yeah, that content block, basically just left aligned image, right aligned text. We replaced the image with that one that you see on the left-hand side there. And for the text, instead of, we didn't need an image to have that big quotation mark icon, if you want to call it that. Really, that's just text. So we typed in the quotation marks. We made the text as big as we could. We changed the color to kind of like a navy blue. And then for the text, we made it a little bit bigger than you'd probably think to, but it really does make an impact. We made the first part of that section bold, like Upflow had. And then below that, we included this person's name and I guess their business, and we made that text smaller as well. So again, a lot of this is just playing with font sizing, colors, and boldness. And at the bottom of the page is a call to action section. So what we did with this, we have a call to action, that one exactly, with text on the left and a button on the right. We don't have one with two buttons on the right, but all we needed to do was, again, because this is a table, we can just insert a column on the right, and then we can drag in a button link. And that's really all there is to it. And then again, we played with these columns. We changed the text on the buttons. We changed the colors. We changed the text on the left. Instead of just having a big heading, we also added some smaller text, a little subheading below that. And then for all three of these columns in this table, we added a background color to make it look that dark navy blue.
Gotcha. So yeah, Ryan, to your point, we're working a little bit within the confines of this Froella editor, and I'm with you that Bootstrap divs would be ideal, but they haven't yet made it available to, again, add a column, remove a column, like a three column div and things like that. So we're trying to utilize the tools that just enough to make everyone dangerous with their web page, landing page creation here. And yeah, Dave, this was actually pretty easy to make this like this. I just kind of replicated what you had here. So great work on that. And yeah, some of the things that we recommend doing is also utilizing this on your homepage as custom homepage content. And really the goal of landing pages are to share information. It could be an FAQ, it could be your mission or about us, but then also to get people to want to click on buttons, click on links, and get into the internal pages of your website. So think about some of those ideas. Even the Teams blocks, those could be used instead of Teams. Those could be to highlight features. It's just the way that it's laid out. By default, we recommend using it for maybe your team or staff page, but you can totally repurpose those for any other ideas you have to use for those blocks.